What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of You Heard What I Said podcast. We back here with Keon. What's going on?
Precious, precious, precious. Hello, hello. From afar, how are you?
I am doing spectacular.
Ooh, that's a
I'm
long
about
word.
to go with it. Look, if I put it out there, that's how I will feel. So I'm
Hey,
investing this spectacular energy for my.
that's awesome. I mean, every morning I wake up with three words, three of the same words. I believe. Well, no, it's not. That's never mind. Let me start all over. I start with three words: believe, believe, believe. I believe, I believe, I believe. I believe, I believe, I believe. I'm tripping. I've already had a little cocktail in me, so
Look,
yeah. It's all about that positive energy. I tell you, man, it works wonders, and I'm always thankful because it comes back when it happens. Stuff happens, and all right. So for example, all right. So I went to get some groceries, right,
wait.
and just
Before you even chime in
okay.
about the groceries, let's
All
take a shot.
right,
We got to get this started.
all right. Let's do it.
Mm.
My ice melted, but oh well.
Yeah, mine too, but it's okay. Yeah.
But you know how just like doing stuff for someone.
Mm-hmm.
It can even be something minor, but just doing something, and all of a sudden it goes back like, all right, so I'm going to the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just getting a few things, but I didn't want to get a basket, so I got a regular cart. But
Mm-hmm.
as I was going to the cart, like I don't know how it is where you're at, but nowadays, man, the carts are stuck. It's hard to get a cart. You have all them at the grocery store. It has all them carts. It's like stuck. You like trying to pull one out. It's like, hell, man,
There's
they glue it
so many
together.
like memes about that. Yeah.
This what?
So many memes about it, like the
Really?
difference between like a Walmart shopping cart and a Target
Oh,
shopping cart.
yeah, right. So I guess you could tell which one I went to. So, so, so I'm walking up, and, and so I'm walking up, and I see this guy helping this lady out, right? And he's struggling to get it out. And finally, he gets a cart out for her, and she's like, "Thank you," and then he tries to get one out. He's struggling, and so I go up and to the next row. And I struggle for a half second. I get one out, and I'm like, here you go, take this one. And he's like, oh, pay. He said something about like pay it forward or whatever. There's something about how I helped her out. You helped me out. I appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you. Just something to that effect. And I wasn't thinking about
Right.
that, but he made that comment about, hey, I did something good for her, and now you're doing something good for me. I
Right.
appreciate it. Just something
Mhm.
small. It's funny, but yeah, you can definitely tell which of the two places I went to.
Yeah, just that little thing makes a difference when you do pay it forward. People do appreciate it, and it changes somebody's day, which means that
Yeah.
you just altered his energy, which in turn is going to alter somebody else's energy. So that's
Yeah,
spec.
and here
Yeah.
And here it is. I'm telling you about it. I'm sure he probably went and told his,
Mhm.
significant other or whatever, just something small, but it's just something memorable and just,
Yeah.
like, hey, it's small, small things make a big difference. Small things make a big difference.
That is absolutely so true. Like for real. Yeah.
You
Those
know.
cards are ridiculous. A lot of times I won't even tell like the people who that might be the selfish part of me in my household when I'm going to the store. Cause I'm like, I don't even always want to get the card. I want to go in there and get like
I
the
hear you.
things that I need. And I do not want to call, do not have me in that store for longer than I need to be. So, but then somebody either is checking my location or I'll end up calling. So then I got to be like, I'm at an Aldi and I'm carrying a box and trying to put everything in a box because I refuse to walk all the way back
I hear
to the
you.
front of the store to get the cart.
Yeah, sometimes when I don't have a card, I'm putting stuff on shelves just to, I'm like, grab stuff, like, oh, shit. And then
Yeah,
to get some more stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah, I do that.
you can't win on that one.
Right. Okay, so today is all on you. So tell me, Mr. Kia, what are we doing today?
All
I'm
right,
in.
everybody's. Yeah, I'm intrigued too because we'll see how this goes. All right, listen, everybody. So we definitely want your feedback. Like, share, of course, comment, but also give us some feedback. Preferably on the positive side. But we always like constructive criticism because we always strive to improve and everything like that to bring the best not only out of us, but to bring the best to give to you guys. But we're gonna it's all about stories, storytelling. So we all like gossip. We all like to hear someone else's story, whether if it's better or worse than ours. We still like to hear other people's stories and perspectives as to what they experienced. Because the other day I was thinking about, man, you ask someone a question, even though sometimes you don't want to know the answer. How's your day going? And usually they be like, oh, it's all right, it's okay, it's fine, it's good,
Right.
whatever. But sometimes you'd be like, oh, let me tell you, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I really just thought you'd be like, oh, I'm having, it's okay, it's good, it's fine. But but a lot of times we do want to hear other people's perspective and other people's
Mhm.
stories in life. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna read off a story from someone. I have no idea what it is. I haven't read it yet, but it's from definitely one of our listeners, and we are excited to hear. And if you guys like this, we'll do more. But I'm gonna read off the story, and you may hear us commenting on it because I know there's a lot of reaction videos out there in the social media platform as we did a recent podcast on social media. Oh, wait. Precious, where are you? uh, but we know, but we did, a lot of stuff out there is reaction videos and just commenting on stuff like that. So we're gonna kind of switch it up a little bit and read off a story and then comment on it and just kind of give our little 2 cents on the stories. And so hopefully you like the story. And if you do, then there's definitely many more to come. And if you have a story of your own, we will definitely read your story and give you a shout out as well. So you can definitely tell all your family or friends to listen in as we tell your story. So definitely send it in. You can go to the youheardwhatisaid.com. And on our YouTube channel, there's a email link that you can go ahead and send in your story, and we would definitely read it off to you in one of our future episodes.
I'm
So,
ready. Get to it.
all right. So I'm gonna pull up the story now, and let's do it. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm gonna start reading, and if you have, and Precious, if you have anything to say, or if have a comment, just interrupt me, and we'll definitely talk about what was just read.
All
So
right.
the title of the story is "Shop Till You Drop the Deadline."
Ooh, okay.
A few years ago, I was working as an office assistant at a small but very dynamic company, aka a place where everything seemed like a crisis, but probably not. I handled client orders, assigned work to freelancers, and occasionally answered the phone like a glorified receptionist who was also the company punching bag. My boss, who we'll call Sharon, was the kind of person who constantly reminded everyone that she was an entrepreneur, but she owned a business and could spell profit. Now, Sharon loved telling me how much smarter she was than everyone else, especially me. First of all, how do you feel about working somewhere in an environment? Let me go back and pull you up on the screen. How do you feel about working with someone in an environment where they feel like they're just know-it-alls, that they feel like they know everything, and you just like they're superior to you? Could you work in an environment like that?
It depends. If I needed the money, I'm gonna hold
Okay.
on as long as I can until I find something else. But everybody can learn from someone. So the fact that you think that somebody else's input isn't valid or isn't, as strong or as good as yours, yeah, that's gonna be an issue because then that just shows me that you're not about growth because you don't think that you can learn from anyone else. So yeah, I would definitely have an issue with that, and I would try to be quiet for a minute, but I know
Mm-hmm.
my mouth, so eventually I'll be
Yeah.
like, what's her name? Sharon, Miss
Yeah.
Sharon. Excuse me, ma'am. But and I probably would not confront her in front of everybody, but could we have a moment in your office? And then I would share my thoughts. Because
Okay.
it's a little messy.
Okay. I like that. I agree, man. Yeah, for sure. Now, Sharon loved telling me how much smarter she was than everyone else, especially me. She constantly went on about how I was getting paid minimum wage to use my brain, but not to actually make decisions or anything useful, just to passively observe her brilliance. She also promised me that if I worked hard and learned the ropes, I could be promoted to a high paying position in less than a year. She even threw in a get your act together. Whoo, get your act together. All right, she
Right.
even threw in a get your act together and you'll be in the money speech every Friday, mostly so I didn't quit on the spot. See, so Sharon already knew that she was in the wrong because her thinking that okay, this person's gonna leave. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
Like in some sense, I feel as if she's trying to help her, and then in another sense, I feel like she's a little jealous, of her. So it's like, where are we going with this? I'm not sure what Sharon's, motive is. Is
well,
it to help? Is it to teach? Is it to scrutinize, judge, criticize? I have absolutely no idea.
one day a huge corporate client places a time-sensitive order that's due by 4 p.m. on Friday. Sharon, being a true professional, took the task on herself. I was told to stay out of it and just pass on the client's instructions and then disappear like a magical office assistant. Well, Friday rolls around and I pop by the office to check if she's still alive. Sharon, nowhere to be found. It's 3 p.m. and I'm starting to feel the heat from the client calling every 15 minutes asking if we're almost done. I try calling Sharon's phone, nothing. I send her texts, crickets. I call her landline and ask her husband if she was around. She's out shopping, he says. I let her know you're trying to reach her. No joke. It's 3:45 p.m. and Sharon is out shopping like it's the weekend. I called again, and by the time she picked up, she was already back home. She sounded annoyed like I had just interrupted her with an important me time moment.
Sharon has absolutely no idea what teamwork means because she wants to take on all these tasks by herself, which is cool because it's like, hey, if the other's still getting paid and they ain't got to do no work, then whatever. But Sharon
Mm-hmm.
was one of those people when she was like in middle school or elementary school, got like marks on their report card saying doesn't play well with others. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you calling me again? She snapped. Can't you see I'm out shopping for important business? I could hear her rummaging through the bags in the background. I barely contain my laughter. The client's calling Sharon. The order is due in 15 minutes. She sighed. Fine, I'll handle it. It's fine. Everything's fine. You don't need to worry. I'm on it. Don't call me again until Monday. And that was it. Crisis averted in her world. So I did what any obedient assistant would do. I turned off my phone and enjoyed the rest of my Friday. No stress, no drama. I'd done my part, and Sharon had assured me that everything was under control. Fast forward to Monday morning. I stroll into the office, all relaxed from our weekend of not running around trying to manage Sharon's meltdown. But when I walk in, it's total chaos. Sharon is Sharon is in the middle of an epic tantrum, screaming at the top of her lungs. She's blaming everyone from the coffee machine to the photographer for ruining everything. Yeah, whatever, dude.
Right.
Apparently, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. I hate those people that, oh, yeah, you go ahead, you take care of it. I got it, we're good. And then all of a sudden, blaming everybody else for their lack of.
Exactly.
of
She did all that belittling to her employees or whatever, and you couldn't even handle the task. But you're so much smarter, so much better at everything, but you couldn't complete it without the
right,
help. Come on
right.
now.
Come on. Apparently, she forgot about the 4 p.m. deadline on Friday. And because she was busy buying shoes, she never actually delivered the work. So naturally, she blamed me. Why didn't you call me again? She shouted. How could you leave me to handle this alone? I could have missed the deadline because you didn't remind me. I blinked. You told me not to bother you about it. Sharon looked at me like I just revealed the secrets of the universe. No, I said you were supposed to just pass on the info. I was supposed to handle it, she said, as if I had somehow pulled this entire disaster out of thin air.
Right.
Yeah, right. You're the one who didn't follow up. I raised an eyebrow. I followed your instructions exactly. You said you would handle it, and that was the end of it. I didn't have to do anything else. She glared at me. You should have anticipated that I might need help. You're supposed to read my mind and always make sure I'm on track. That's part of your job. Now, now, that's BS, man. Now, here's where it gets good. I calmly pointed out the true source of the problem. Sharon, you know all your clients personally, right? Well, it turns out that the client's contact information was in the order on every page right there at the top where even you can't miss it. It was like they were begging you to call them. But I guess that was too obvious.
Right.
Sharon's face went from red to green, and I swear I saw her brain almost short circuit. You could hear her
I'm sorry. People love to blame someone else of their shortcomings. You claim that you had it all together, and that like I said, you're smarter, you can handle it, you're capable of the task, and like you said, no, you go ahead and do your thing. I got this. Stop calling me. Now all of a sudden that you didn't have it and you couldn't complete it, now it's an issue, and you trying to blame somebody else instead of taking accountability for your actions.
Right.
Like, come
like,
on.
my bad. I get it. My bad. How hard is it to say my bad, or the professional term of my bad, whatever,
Exactly.
and just move on, just because people appreciate you more when you messed up and you admit it, and then they move on. Hey, how can we make this better? How can we do it right?
Exactly.
Sharon's face went from red to green, and I swear I saw her brain almost short circuit. You could hear her ego cracking like glass. But, she stammered, I had no idea the details were there. Why didn't you highlight it for me? Sharon, I didn't want to spoon feed you, I said with a smirk. I assumed your genius brain could handle it. Now she getting, all right. I like that. I made sure to say genius brain in the most sarcastic tone possible. At that point, I knew I was going to be fired, but I also knew that I just destroyed her soul in front of everyone in the office. She sputtered something about accountability and firing me if I didn't shape up, but I wasn't listening. I was basking in the glory of a well-executed strategy, malicious compliance. And yes, as expected, I was fired. But honestly, I didn't care. It was like a reverse promotion. No more dealing with Sharon's antics, and no more pretending I didn't have better things to do than watch her flounder. Plus, I did get a free coffee mug from the office kitchen as a parting gift. Okay, I got something to say about that. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorite happy endings. Why is that in quotation marks? Happy ending. So yeah, that's not what I think of when I hear that. Anyway, so yeah, that was probably one of my favorite happy endings to a workplace drama. Now, I've known people, because have I ever worked in the office before? Actually, I have. In college, I worked with Dad for a minute, in his out in the suburb for a summer, for a couple of months. Did you know that?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I work for him, and I worked for him for a couple of months. That drive was horrible. But I worked for a couple months, and there was a gym like across the street, and I would go work out at lunchtime a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever, or do you know someone that's ever worked in the office, and before they left, they like raided the supply office and took all like pens, pencils, paper, not protractor, but staplers or whatever?
Absolutely. And I shall not name no names because I don't want to say that I'm included. But
I hear you.
but yeah, absolutely, people take a few little things that they may have access to more than just a coffee mug. So yeah, but for sure. It's like, okay, that's the least you can do, especially if you're not getting any type of severance package or,
I
you
hear
know what
you.
I'm saying, unemployment or whatever the case may be. Um, Now I
Wait,
will.
wait, real quick for you listeners that are watching this show. If you've ever taken something from an office right before you either got fired or you quit, got let go, or moved on, what are some of the things you've taken? Let us know. All right, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. Now, I will say if her job is an assistant, it is to what was the word that you used to anticipate? You know what I'm saying? Kind of her moves. So I could kind of get that. But there's also a sense as, you know what I'm saying? Treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat people with kindness and dignity and respect. Like nobody's going to want to go above and beyond to do things for you if you're constantly treating them like crap. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely time for, what was the other girl's name? Because all I'm
Oh, no.
hearing like is Sharon, Sharon, Sharon. Oh, so they never said.
Yeah, I don't even know if they ever said. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was time for her to go anyway and go somewhere where she was going to be valued, you know, so that way she doesn't have to work her minimum wage job and, you know what I'm saying? Have to endure all the craziness and allow Sharon to fall on her own because she's going to fall too. She's definitely gonna fall. But I'm sure in that instance, Sharon blamed the employee for the reason why.
Oh,
You know what I'm
absolutely,
saying? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I rectified that situation because I fired her. I let her go. So that's not gonna happen again. Which it will.
Which it will with someone else
What the heck she's doing.
the following month. Yeah, but if I was Sharon, I would when I hired, my assistant, I would
Mm-hmm.
have a conversation as to what's expected. I don't even know if they
Oh,
even had that
sure.
conversation. Like, hey, I
Yeah.
want you to be my, my third eye. I want you, I
Mhm.
want you to have my back. I want you, you got to have that conversation as to what's expected. Because I don't know if they ever did where they may have just hired her and say, hey, you're my assistant, do your job. And that's
Right.
it. You got
Right.
to be specific as to how you expect this bond to go. Whether if I like you or not, this is what I expect. Do you have any questions? Hey, let's make sure we do this together. It's teamwork. And
Mm-hmm.
then with sharing every little thing that the system may do, I would, hey, here's a little gift card for lunch. It's just a little something,
Yeah.
that's not expected, but just by doing something good that is and it's not expecting anything in return. But hey,
Right.
here's a little something for you to
Mm-hmm.
keep them motivated.
Absolutely, yeah. Sharon could not have been my boss. I've been I guess I could use the word blessed to have some good employers. My directors or managers, I've definitely had a good run where I didn't have to experience that type of craziness because I'm
Mhm.
not sure, you know what I'm saying, how I would handle it. I don't have like a middle ground. I'm either gonna let it slide.
Yeah, hot or cold.
Yeah. There's no
Yeah.
warm with me. Yeah, it's either gonna be when I hear that, I'm be like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's because I'm taking it all in and I'm talking to myself saying, relax, precious, let it go. Just relax. And eventually I'm just no longer gonna be able to relax and let it go. And because I've held it in for so long, the next time you gonna catch it. You know,
Oh,
you just gonna catch it. Point blank. My mouth is crazy. So,
you say you be looking in the paper, the Sunday papers for another job.
I would have already had something lined up when it got to that point when I constantly had
Oh
to
yeah, yeah.
telling myself, like, just let it go, let it go. All those nights or the time when she said, don't worry about it, I got it. I'm gonna be on my computer, laptop, whatever it is, looking for other employment. So when she said fire, be like, oh, no problem. I start my new job tomorrow. And just would have let
How
it.
cr- and how crazy is it how crazy is it that you have to put in your 2 weeks to quit, but they can fire you on the spot?
Ridiculous. That's why I know a lot of people where they're like, I'm not giving any notice. Like they wouldn't give it to me, so why would I give it to them? because they're like, I already got another job. Like, I don't need you as a reference or anything. So I've known a few people who said, yeah, I'm gonna let them know the morning of. Because you also never know like how that company is gonna react. Like, are y'all gonna be vindictive? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna mess around, cut my hours, stop me from getting,
Oh,
whatever it is that I deserve? So yeah, sometimes the 2 weeks notice is not always beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
I've
So
known I've known someone that put in there 2 weeks, and
mhm,
they said, "Oh, you can go now. We don't need you." And that was it. They didn't fire them, quote unquote, but they
mhm,
say, hey, you don't have to. You you dismissed. You can go now
mhm,
if you want.
right.
And I mean, I don't know the exact words that were spoken,
Yeah.
but basically that's how it was. Where they put in 2 weeks and they're like, no, you're good. We appreciate you. You can leave now and not
Mhm.
come back Monday. So
Yeah. I would be like, oh, okay.
yes, here's my address. Make sure my last check is coming. Well, thanks for direct deposit. You don't have to worry about that. But yeah,
Exactly. Well, Sharon, I hope that you find a little bit more kindness in your heart and start treating people with the respect that you want in return. And for the employee, like, look, I hope you found a better position that values you. So yeah, so this was cool. I enjoyed it. Yeah, we definitely have to do this again.
for
So
sure, for sure.
yeah. So you guys let us know what you think about it and make sure that you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell, and all that goodness. Leave us a comment. Like, come on now, interact with us. Keon, how can everybody reach you?
Keon said 3-7.
All right, and
And you, are you about to get on the tickety talk?
I know last episode I said I was, and I have not as of yet.
But on the other platforms, how can you be reached?
I can be reached on Instagram, mainly Instagram. I am on Snapchat, but I'm not on there faithfully. So mainly Instagram. Precious said 888. However, I'm gonna get better, y'all. I told y'all this social media thing, like it just ain't me all the time. But yes, I will get better. Precious said 888 Instagram and coming soon TikTok. Not sure what my name will be because I don't know if that's already taken. So we'll see. Stay tuned. All right. See you later.
All
Bye.
right, adios.
What's on your shirt?
I don't.
That's
It
nice.
says, what does it say? Mo. Move.
If you can see how you look right now, that's definitely going in the outtakes. Oh my goodness.
Before you do it. All right, so we just got our passports, right?
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, we got. I'm still waiting on that motherfucker. I'm still waiting on the I'm still waiting on my our birth certificates because we got the pass. I know
Scared.
what you said. So I know what you said, but it's like, come on now, because we got it last week. We got the passport and the passport cards, and it's funny because they tell you you got to take your glasses off and don't smile and all that stuff. Dude, instead of not smiling, I looked at my passport. I'm like, damn, I ain't got no lips, So I'm like, I even do like this. I'm like the got no lip,
Oh,
you
so,
know.
like when you go travel, like they gonna be like,
I'm like, yeah, it was my off day.
oh shit, that's hilarious.
Are you tripping? We talking about plucking. All right, so right before our first call, I went in the mirror because, like I said, I just came in and I'm sweating and stuff, so I'm drying myself off. I'm like, damn, that's a little nose hair. So I'm like, all right, so I got tweezer, right? So I get this one out, and then there's another one. This one, I'm like, man, where'd this pop up from? So I spent like literally like 3 minutes trying to get it because when I talked earlier, I talked about how I could put the thing in the straw but how come I can't use a tweezer and get this one gray hair? I'm plucking hair that's like way in the back, tears is coming out, and I'm just like crying, and I'm looking, it's still there. I'm like, I'm pulling, still can't get it. If eventually I got it, but I'm just like, man, what the hell?
First off, gray hairs are stubborn. But secondly, it hurts in the nose.
It does.
Can imagine how you was feeling pulling out.
My eyes are starting to water now, just even thinking about it, man, for real. But yeah, because I don't want, because if I just did like this, it hurt for a second. But I'm trying to make sure I got the right one, so I'm just pulling, and I'm pulling. Yeah.